All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wayne the Pre-Show, the realest podcast in America. That's right, where truth has no filter and no switch. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in on rvmnews.com. Thanks for tuning in to watch us here on the Rare Voice Media Network. And don't forget to check out rvmnews.com. And I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us for this awesome way that we bring news to you. We're going to get right into it. We have a lot to talk about in a short time to do it. So, real quick, let me introduce Jason Robinson from Minnesota.
Folks, happy hump day. What a wonderful Wednesday we have today. I got to say, so much news to talk about. We love sharing it with you. Thank you to all of our audience. Do us a favor, like, comment, share. That's how we get reach on the podcast. So we love it. And wait, I got to say, there is so much. China, Letitia James, Maryland Mann, they're going down to get him. Like, I can't wait to go through all this
They
stuff.
are?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen it. The Democrats.
Oh, they ain't going to get him. Okay,
no. The Democrats are flying down to demand his release. They aren't doing anything.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I mean, we might be able to touch that. Yeah, that doesn't even
that's a clown show.
Float the boat. Yeah, but China right now is cranking up on the cyber war, officially naming alleged NSA hackers and putting U.S. intelligence on blast. We don't know whether Beijing is playing offense or setting the stage for something a whole lot bigger. And then last night we learned that they are flexing their economy right now. Their first quarter GDP beat expectations at 5.4%, but that was before the tariff, before the 254% Donald Trump just put on them. What does that mean for the global economy and how should America respond? And then here back home, President Trump is making headlines again saying he wants to, I had to read that twice. He wants to offer cash and plane tickets to immigrants willing to self-deport.
Yes.
Yeah, you heard that right.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a genius policy or political theater? Oh, and that's just scratching the surface because we got a whole lot more to talk about. But like Jason said, if you're watching or listening right now, do your part, share the episode with your friends and family. And yes, haters, share with those that don't agree with us so they can watch.
I agree with you.
There's always something that people agree on. They might disagree on 90%, but they might agree on one thing, and that one thing might be the linchpin to connecting people. So let's keep the conversation going where big tech can't silence it. And also, before we get into it, if you got any thoughts, questions, or even story tips, you can hit us up at wdshow@yahoo.com. We want to hear from you, so let us know. Now, the hacker thing. Jason, did you hear about the hacker thing? China just accused 3 hackers of working for the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, and is even offering a reward for their arrests. This is the first time that China has made such claims publicly, and is clearly a move to escalate the ongoing cyber war between both of countries. Let's be honest. It looks like they're playing copycat. It looks like they're using the same tactics that the United States has used against Chinese hackers for years. And it's happening while President Trump's trade war with China is going on. So, Jason, is just like another example of them trying to distract from their own cyber attacks against us?
Yeah. I've been saying it now since, especially this trade war escalated. We are in a non-shooting war with China. Everything short of shooting a gun or a missile at each other is on the tape. This NSA stuff, there's huge cyber wars. They have their hacker teams, we have our hacker teams. They've taken over control of different infrastructure in America. We're trying to do the same over there. And they're just taking all this stuff to the public now. And it's in attempt
Yeah.
to distract them. It's trying to make America look bad. It's kind of like we were talking about the trade thing, which we might get into a little bit, but like they've got all these people over in these factories making videos. I talked about it yesterday. Then Wayne called me yesterday afternoon. He's like, "Holy crap! There's like 20 of these videos where they're filming all this stuff."
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for doing that. Jason told us about it, and then the next thing you know, I'm getting like 20 and 30 of these videos on my timeline. I never seen them before, but I'm like, I had to call him. I was like, dude, you see all this mess?
Yeah, he called me. We're at the dog park. I'm like, Wayne, we got to get you to the dog park. But anyways, and I'm like, yeah, this is real. And it's funny. There's like 5 or 6 different ones I've seen. And it's like, here's a Louis Vuitton purse we're making in China.
Wow.
And we're going to do everything and then send it to Italy. They'll stamp it with Louis Vuitton and throw a $40,000 price tag on it. Lululemon leggings, that go for whatever they are, $100 a pop. Like they're made in the same factory that they make the $12 leggings at Walmart, but then they send them somewhere where they get to sew a label on it and call it made wherever and charge you $100 for a pair of leggings. So yeah, they're going all out with the information warfare right now. The hacker things are huge. It's going to be crazy.
Jason, have you ever seen China, the CCP or China? Have you ever seen them use social media as public as they are right now?
No. And I mean, we've talked about it with TikTok and all that,
right,
how they adjust the algorithms and the CCP controls it. But now, like, they're taking gloves off. They're just, and soon I think they're going to take intelligence that they've gathered through hacking of nefarious things that America's done around the globe. I think in a week or so, you'll see that coming out like, oh, you won't believe what they did in Yemen or whatever. And yeah, it's China's just doing a full disclose, like information warfare. They're trying to lower American morale. They're trying to rally the world against them. I mean, they're trying all the things. So like I say, just you are in a war with China right now. There's just no shots being fired. And China's trying to win the war without firing a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I caught Jason. I caught Jason.
Awesome. Wayne isn't shocked often, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And then the algorithm, once you like watch one or two, it just keeps feeding.
Then it just kept coming. Oh yeah. It just kept coming. If y'all haven't seen these videos yet, and I'll get back to the cyber hacking in just a few minutes, but me and Jason did say we were going to kind of talk about this a little bit today. If you haven't seen these videos yet, I want you to check this out.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own countries and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have Hermes bag and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer, and be a real person. Buy a bag from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
Holy Jesus.
Imagine all these clowns walking around with a $5, $10, $20,000 purse, thinking they're all this, that, and a bag of chips, and it's like,
Wait a minute. I'm so glad you said that because of you opening my eyes to this mess. I got some responses from some people. Well, I didn't get some responses. I got videos of some of those people that Jason's talking about. Jason's basically saying, imagine some of these people that have already bought these bags for $12,000, whatever. What do they have to say about it?
I am about to crash out. Seriously, I'm crashing out. China, they on our ass. Let me tell you something. Y'all see all these damn bags that I have? Okay? These are the bags they're talking about. Like, I have a Birkin, a Fendi, a Louis. I've never even used this bag yet. A Chanel, Louis, Fendi, Chanel, Gucci, Louis. And you're telling me what I have spent on all these bags, I could have went to China and got them and not spent all this money? China, I'm coming. But
Jason, it was. Here's another one, and please forgive the graphic language. I'm letting you know graphic language already, but it was kind of funny.
And I wish I would have knew this motherfucking shit a long time ago. You telling me we've been spending thousands of dollars and we could have been getting furniture for the fraction of that price? China has a vast manufacturing infrastructure that allows for large-scale production, which means that's why it's so cheap. Watch this.
Who is the Chinese supplier of light luxury furniture? The supplier of various luxury brands is Mingxi International. It has been producing furniture for more than 35 years.
Wow.
Usually you spend $100,000 to buy furniture, but over here you only need 1/10 of the cost.
A couple
and
bucks?
There are many styles such as the Italian
We need to hop
luxury
on
style,
that.
modern.
They ain't going away, man. I never thought that they would do something like this.
What a marketing campaign, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to Americans that are financially struggling.
Yeah.
And everybody understands, like, they're using inhuman practices. They're not following environmental guidelines to make this stuff. Like, let's have no qualms about it. Like we shouldn't be buying it from them, but they're doing a full press directly to the American people, trying to convince people, like, just buy Chinese stuff.
And they're using social media to do it. There's no.
Want to know who's the Chinese factory behind Nike, Adidas, Fila, and UGG? Number one, the biggest factory for Nike shoes in China is called FJF Group. They're located in China, Fujian. FJF is also China's biggest shoe factory. Second, the factory behind Adidas shoes is Baocheng Group in China. Baocheng Group has factories in China and in Southeast Asia. Number three, the factory behind UGG in China is called Henglong Group in Henan. Henglong Group is also the biggest factory of UGG shoes in the entire world. And number four, the factory behind Fila Group in China is called Shentai Group, and they're located in Zhejiang, China. Comment and let me know what other products I should do next, and follow me if you want to know more factories in China.
She is. She probably called him in there and said, "Get on it."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, and like I say, my position has not changed. We should be making this stuff in America. We should be doing this, but give credit where it's due. Brilliant strategy from China. They're trying to undermine American manufacturing. They're trying to undermine, because I got to say, people don't like tariffs, but they love the idea of bringing manufacturing home, because we know that that's what we have to do to revitalize the middle class. One of many things, but that's going to be huge. So,
and not only that, some of these people knew about it a long time ago.
I'm here to tell you that this whole thing with China exposing luxury brands, Lululemon, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, all of these brands is real. My parents worked in import-export my whole life. Over 30 years they have been in this. Before Alibaba was a thing, my parents were the middleman. American companies will come to them and say, hey, we want these things made in China. And my parents will go actually to China and source the goods and find the factories to make whatever product it might be. Products get shipped back to the US, they slap a label on it, they sell it at, major retail stores. I have known this, that luxury brands are made in the same factory as knockoff brands. When I was in college, I had a pair of UGG boots that just didn't have the UGG tag on it because my parents went to the factory and they were sourcing for a shoe company. They said, hey, we're going to send you this pair. It was literally $5. You love Uggs. It doesn't have the logo, but it's the same quality from the same factory. I have known this for basically my whole life. And the fact that this is just now coming out is hilarious to me. Just because it's made in China doesn't mean it's garbage. Just because it's made in Italy doesn't mean it's amazing. And most of the time it's not. So beware of what you're buying and don't just always buy designer things. That is all.
I can't fight that.
It is a brilliant marketing campaign by China.
Yeah.
Because they're just, like I say, all that manufacturing, think of all those people that are working, all the support to those factories. And when we talked about decoupling from them, like that's what we're talking about. Like get those factories back in America, let's start making those products. I mean, that is going to damage China more than anything. So as we continue down this trade war, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. You're going to continue seeing these marketing campaigns and you'll see everything. We started kind of talking about the intelligence thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to expose like what we did in Israel and Palestine. They're going to They're going to do everything they can get their hands on, short of firing a weapon or shooting a missile, because they know they're at war. Because if we bring manufacturing back, they're done. It's over. Have a nice day.
Well, we have to do more than bring manufacturing back. We have to bring down the price, because it seems like there were some people on social media yesterday when you asked them, they watch these videos and they see that it really doesn't cost that much to make the video. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the same as potato chips. It's the same as those things. Soda being bottled, it doesn't cost that much to do it. It's just that they mark it up to these hellacious prices and stuff. But somebody on the thing was like, they kept blaming China for the markups. And it's like, but they aren't marking it up. The people that's marking it up,
it's the big corporation.
Back over here, or when it gets to Italy, they're the ones that, like Debbie said, the sad thing is that the people in China are making pennies on a dollar while Italy is making billions. What's crazy about that statement is that they're not making the product in Italy. They're just finishing the product in Italy and making billions off of somebody else's work. That's the craziness of it. And, she said that the gig is up America. To go back to what Jason was talking about, you can have all the manufacturing that you want in the entire world. But if you're going to charge those high prices, Americans and other people are going to go elsewhere for the lower prices. So unless you're willing to bring down those prices,
Well, I think, once again, from a philosophical standpoint, we have to make things in America. It's critical to what we do. We can't just be the reseller. Like, it'll never work for us long term.
Just can't do it at high prices, though, man.
But here's what I'm saying. It's going to cause Americans to have a reckoning where they're going to have to say, if you're going to make it so expensive to manufacture here, between environmental regulations, licensing, all this compliance, divisions, all this stuff, you can't be competitive in a global marketplace where other people don't have to do that. I'll use an example. It's not manufacturing, but it's kind of the same thing. So there was this cafe owner in Minneapolis, and he was he was just a dude. He ran a couple cafes, wasn't a rich guy, just normal, owned a couple cafes, and his workers kept pushing, and we need more leave, we need more sick time, we need more this, we need more that. And then they went to unionize, and they were going to their wage demands were like $26 an hour or something for the cafe workers, which is just ludicrous. If you've ever run a cafe, you can't. And they got enough votes to unionize, and then he just said, we're shutting down. And everybody was crying, but people are like, the guy won't make any money. Like, he will lose money if he has to pay you those wages. Like, I'm sorry, that's just how it works. Like, cafe workers aren't going to make $26 an hour, whatever the number was. So, and it'll force America to look at, how difficult is it to build things in America. And I told Wayne when we were chatting yesterday, like, you'd be shocked. And in my last company, we did a lot of e-commerce. We sold a lot of conservative goods, shirts, hats, flags, that kind of stuff. Much of that is not made in America.
Yeah.
And it's really hard.
Did I say it was made in Italy? I didn't say it was made in Italy, did I? I didn't say that. I said it.
What Wayne was saying is they do a finish on it in Italy, put the tags on it. Usually what they do is put like grommets or something on it. They have to do a certain amount of finishing to the product.
They have to take the China label off.
They tear the China label off. They do a little bit of stuff to it, and then they say made in whatever country.
Right. The box itself, like Jason told me yesterday, the box that is delivered in says from China, but the product doesn't say. The only reason why we're able to talk to you about this, the only reason why people are being able to learn about this is because China tore up the confidentiality statement that they have been signed to for decades, that they wouldn't tell anybody that the product was made in China. Just because you see something from Italy doesn't mean that it's made in Italy. I don't even think that a lot of these countries have what Jason is talking about, the manufacturing to do it. That's why they go to China, or that's why they go to Japan, or that's why they go to these big, gigantic, massive venues to get them all done and then ship it to us. We'll put the finishing touches on it. We'll shine it up and put our brand on it. The brand is the brand, and we've always known Nike, McDonald's. You're paying for the brand. Cars, when you buy cars, you're paying for Honda. You're paying for Audi. You're paying for the name. You're not paying for the car. You're paying for the name.
And the big takeaway that should terrify everybody, I think we can all agree, China is our biggest geopolitical rival in the world. Yeah, Wayne gets wrapped up in the fine print. He does.
Shouldn't you? Shouldn't you?
Well, and this is where it's important. So our biggest geopolitical rival is China, or maybe second if you think Russia or whatnot, or BRICS. It's one of the biggest geopolitical.
Japan is up there too,
states. Yeah. And they make everything. And why on earth would you be reliant on one of your biggest enemies in the world, the country that wants to destroy you? Like that would be insane to do.
Which means to say that they really aren't enemies. They're made to think like Russia. Are they really our enemy?
Oh no, China's our enemy. The CCP is our enemy.
The CCP might be the enemy, but is China the enemy?
Well, the CCP is the government of China. They are the enemy. They are bribing our politicians, our big business people.
I understand that, but like the NFC said, the Chinese people aren't our enemy.
The guy in the factory is not our enemy, and the guy working in the Chinese factory is not our enemy. But their country is our enemy. They're trying to destroy
us. Government is our enemy, not the country.
Well, I'm conflating the word country and government. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying we're at war with China, Wayne. Can we agree on that?
We're at war with the CCP. Yes.
See, the CCP is the government of China.
The reason why I'm saying it like that is because when the NFSC came on here, they they particularly wanted everybody to know that there are two different entities. There are two different entities, the government, which the Chinese people never voted for. They don't vote for the government. They don't have any say in the government. So to put China, to keep saying China, and we've agreed with the NFSC for, okay, yeah, we need to say CCP instead of China, because the Chinese people are being forced into slave-like type labor, which we all know that they didn't ask for. They're being paid low wages they didn't ask for, and they really can't do anything because their government is so overbearing. You know, they have evil people up at the top, so that's why you can't say China. You can say CCP, but you can't say China. You know, those people that you saw in those videos, I bet you those were paid people from the Communist Party that are on these videos. You know what I'm saying? The Chinese people are okay. It's the good. No, they're not. No, they're not. Y'all didn't watch.
Were we at war with Germany?
I don't even know why we even brought the NFSC on here to even say something like that. Because
were we at war with Germany in World War II, or were we at war with the Nazis?
Nazis.
Okay. When I describe World War II, I say we're at war with Germany. The German people had the government. That was the country we were at war with. The Chinese people, and I understand your distinction you're making. Like the average Chinese citizen doesn't necessarily want the government they have. Maybe they do. Who knows? But so if I use China as a colloquialism, that's just to say that country wants to overthrow our country. That country's government wants to overthrow our country's government. And they're going to do everything they can to undermine our country.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, I just we were taught, or we were schooled, we were educated for over a year and a half that the Chinese people want to take back their country. From
and they've not
the CCP, you know. Modi dropped BRICS as soon as Trump. BRICS is still there. I don't know why, Kevin. I don't know why you said that. BRICS is still there. BRICS is still out there. But yeah, back to the hacking thing. The Chinese government says that the NSA hacked into the digital infrastructure of the Asian Winter Games held in Harbin. But here's the kicker: they provided almost no evidence. For many people, that's just textbook CCP. Throw out accusations without proof. Meanwhile, the White House fired back that these claims are fabrications, and they accuse the Chinese Communist Party of making excuses for their own dirty tricks in cyberspace. And the NSA hasn't commented on that. Do you think that I'll go back to an earlier question. I think. Do you think that the accusations are to cover up their massive attacks against our infrastructure? Because I still believe it was them in 2020. No, wait. I think it was them in 2016. Not Russia.
I think it was them on the ship.
You know, I think that because most of your hackers come from the Asian type of side, and I ain't mean racist. That's just being truthful. Now, yeah, Russian probably have hackers too, but for something of an election like that, I would think that China would have had something to do with the 2016 election, but they blamed it on Russia, probably because China has some type of connection with the Democrat Party back then. I don't know, but do you think that this is accusations to cover up their own massive hackings against our infrastructure?
I think if our government, well, to answer your question, I think they are attacking us. Yes. I think this is a distraction to smear the USA. Yes. I also think that for how many billions of dollars we spend in national security, if we don't have the most robust hacking team in the world, and we aren't attacking every infrastructure in the world to see if we can get in, we're wasting our money. I mean, they like that ship that crashed in Baltimore a couple years ago that hit the bridge.
Yeah.
Like there's a very good likelihood, in my opinion, that was hacked or something happened, and that's why the ship acted weird. We've talked about how they, China even admitted to getting in our infrastructure, like our electric plants, our power grid, that kind of stuff. The digital war is real, folks. And
Yeah.
I mean, if you log in and you shut down the computers, and a lot of the infrastructure has very unsecure computer systems. So yeah, no, I think what they're doing is they're trying, like, they're feeling the world turn against them, and Trump is forcing people to choose sides, and
Yeah, I
they're
saw that
trying
too.
to make it easy for people to turn against us, is probably how I describe it.
You think that's a smart move?
For what?
Choose us or them?
Yeah.
You do.
Well, at the path we're on, we're going to be in a shooting war with them in what, 10, 20 years? Like, they're the biggest. I mean, in my opinion, they're the biggest threat to America. They want America to become part of a vassal of communist China. Like, I mean, Chinese history, like, they're even making videos coming out saying, oh, we've been around 5,000 years. China is an imperialistic nation. China thinks they are, China thinks they are the dominant race. They think they are the chosen ones. They want all the other countries to work for them. And, and now there's a communist party that's ruling China. And like, yeah, no, that's why they're taking over the world with the Belt and Road Initiative. Like, this isn't, in my opinion, it's not a conspiracy theory. They pose the biggest geopolitical threat because they're smart. Instead of attacking us with guns or sending, suicide bombers or whatever, they're just trying to capture us financially. They're trying to capture us through social media, all that kind of stuff.
So before we move to the next topic, y'all keep your eye out on that subject of the hacking thing, because we really don't know where that's going. Again, they haven't put out any proof. Usually countries like that don't put out any proof. They say it, but they don't put out any proof. So right now, the White House is like, whatever. So,
but they're going to continue this discrediting campaign,
right?
And
right.
they're gonna release everything they can. They control a lot of the biggest social media platforms in the world, and that's what they're going to do. Like, we're at war with China. We're just not shooting bullets right now.
Yeah, and the war that Jason keeps trying to explain to everybody is not convention. Is not the old time stuff. This new stuff. There's new stuff. It's a new way of doing it, and they've been preparing for it for a long time. That's why when I see these tariffs go up and up and up, I'm like, I don't know. They got a built-in safe, like a safe thing over there. You know how the same thing happened with Russia, when Biden kept doing those sanctions, and the sanctions didn't seem like they were working. It was like, you keep adding 50 sanctions every month, but it doesn't seem like that's hurting them. Why? Well, what don't we know? Right. It's like, what don't we know? And then when all of the major companies start leaving Russia, and Russia like, oh, I don't care. We'll just start up our own, and they put their own businesses in the spaces that McDonald's and Burger King, KFC left, and then we keep hearing that China's economy isn't doing that well, or their GDP isn't doing that well. And this report here says, okay, beginning of the year, yes, they did well. Well, now I kind of figure out why they're doing this push on social media, saying, just come to us and get your stuff, because they're trying to build that economy back up. And you do it, you get these luxury brand items for a smidgen of it. People be walking around with 20 Jordans, 20 Air Jordans, and 50 Balenciaga bags, and and they don't care.
Well, and you just made kind of the best point for tariffs, bringing manufacturing home, those sorts of things. Russia, like the world could shut off Russia. Russia's fine because the world needs Russia's stuff more than Russia needs the world. Like the all of Europe needs their natural gas, oil. They need their imports, exports, timber, all that stuff. China, very similar. Like economically, they're not in good shape because they built it on slave labor. So quality of life, people get hungry. You know, once your population gets hungry enough, they overthrow the government. But in America, we're kind of poised where England was after World War II. So World War One, they lost millions of people. All their infrastructure was destroyed. World War II comes, and they hadn't recovered their manufacturing. And then when World War II starts, they just have to buy all this stuff from other people because they couldn't make it. And then that's what's really put the final nail in the coffin, where England was never what it was before World War One again, because they lost it. Now they're just a consumer based economy. They don't make anything. They can't manufacture anything.
Well, going to their, I was looking at I've been looking at CNBC every day now. Yeah, I've been looking at the to see whether it's green or red, and is red today, down 246. China's economy grew by 5.4% in the first quarter, beating expectations of 5.1%. Beijing calls it a strong start, but the reality isn't so rosy, according to what we know, because the U.S. tariffs are hitting hard, and major banks are already cutting China's growth forecast. The so-called recovery depends on heavy government stimulus, not real market strength. Jason, do you think that China's numbers are all smoke and mirrors, or is it just another attempt to bluff their way, as we were told by the NFSC? You remember, for the year and a half that they were here, we were told that they were in economic trouble, but the reports that they put out is that they're fine. The reports that they put out is like, you know, we did this, we did that, and we did that, and things look good on the home front. What do you think?
I think they find them. I think a lot of their economy, smoke and mirrors, funny money, kind of like Joe Biden's numbers when he was in office. You know, you just pump trillions into the economy that the government prints, and you have people not making stuff. You have all these government jobs. China's doing a similar thing. And we find ourselves at an interesting spot because China has all the manufacturing capabilities. We have all the consumer capacity and credit capacity. And so it's who blinks first. Like, we need their stuff until we get our factories up and built and get that infrastructure back over here. At that point, we could be independent, just kind of like gas and oil independence. We want to not have to buy gas and oil from other countries. For China, they're reliant on the world because they don't have that much money, you know? And so while they have built up this infrastructure, if we quit buying their stuff, like, it would, like, their leverage to the hill, I believe they would have huge financial struggles if the world just says, we're going to stop buying Chinese products. Now, the question would be, where are you going to buy products from? But hopefully that's what they're trying to solve.
I wonder if that's why they're going to India, because India has more people than we do. So, you know, I wonder if they would start working with that. And I still think, again, you can bring back manufacturing, but if you're going to have high prices, Americans be like, I don't care that you brought back manufacturing. We're going to find somebody that has lesser prices. We're not going to, even if it is made in America, on the top side, meaning on social media and in the public, people are going to tell you whatever you want to hear. That's right. Buy American. Buy American. Boycott Pepsi. Boycott Coke. And you go to the house and they got Coke in the house. They're watching Netflix. They're watching the NFL and stuff. But on social media, that's not what they're about. So, I mean, yeah, they say, yep, we're going to buy it. Well, MAGA would say, yeah, we're going to buy a made in USA. Maybe the rest of the United States are like, yeah, we're going to buy USA, but let me see how much that shirt is. Ooh.
Well, that's why you have a tariff.
No. Well, yeah, but
You just made the case for tariffs.
but if the shirt is cheaper,
It won't be
okay.
cheaper with the tariffs.
Okay, all right, okay. Retail sales in China jumped 5.9% in March, higher than analysts predicted, and industrial input grew by 7.7%. But again, let's not forget the numbers are courtesy of state-controlled media. Jason's right. Every government, even Trump administration, they all play with the numbers. Everybody's playing with the numbers. Like the egg prices, we were told the egg prices are going down. In many places, the egg price is still up. So, I mean, meanwhile, the real estate investment, which is a critical part of their economy and ours, let's not forget, but theirs tanked. And while the NFSC was here, we knew that their real estate was tanking. So that's down by 10%, according to that. But their unemployment rate dropped slightly to 5.2%. And that's after hitting a 2-year high of 5.4% in February. Their government is boasting about their innovation in startups like DeepSeek, but they're still facing complex and severe challenges, especially with the weak domestic demand. So I know they're trying to play catch up, but I think they got so many hands in the pie, so many hands in the cookie jar. They got so many fires going on for their 50-year plan. I think that is also hurting them in the long run, right? They just got rid of their negotiator to get a new negotiator. And now the new negotiator is telling President Trump, we'll come and talk to you if you show us respect. So I'll go back to saying, I don't know what they have over there. We can easily say that their stuff is bad, but something is making them stand up. You say the same thing about Mitch McConnell. Remember, Mitch McConnell was saying all these bad things. Was standing up to President Trump in 2020. He had to know something. Somebody gave him a pill to stand up against President Trump and say all that stuff. It's the same thing that's happened to Russia. Same thing that happened to China. Somebody knows something. And one of these days, we'll probably find out. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what their economy looks like when the tariffs set in, because the numbers over here, the tariffs haven't shown up yet either. April. Well, it's April now. The tariffs haven't shown up in the numbers over here either. So
yeah,
that's what they were
takes
also
30,
saying.
60, 90 days before you see anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like egg prices. Wholesale egg prices are down, but it's going to take a while for that to trickle down to your store shelf. So,
yeah. Oh, man. What a day. Did you watch any of the Paradise last night?
I got one more Paradise, and we went for 2, but it was get to bed at a normal time or stay up late, and we're old. So we always take the get to bed on time. I got to say, episode 3, really, really good. Folks, let us know if you're watching Paradise in the chat. It's incredible. It is just like what a concept. I'm hoping by the end, and don't spoil it, they kind of reveal like what happened to cause all this. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. Oh my gosh, there's Becky. Oh, Wayne, I'm so mad at you. I watched 5 episodes. Becky, I'm with you. Jen and I are trying to be good. Every night she gets off work. We go to the dog park.
If you only get
dinner, and then we read.
Yeah.
And now we get home, we eat dinner, and then we're watching this darn show.
Becky, if you only got 5 in, you haven't even scratched the surface. You haven't even scratched the surface. Oh my God. You're gonna have to DM me or send me fingers in the cookie jar. Thank you, Debbie. You're gonna have to really DM me and let me know what you think about the rest of the episodes. But I think it's 8. I think it's 8 episodes, right? It's
Yeah,
8.
it's 8. Now, wait a second. I watch while working. I got to say, I watch shows when I'm working, but I don't know how you can watch that show while you're working. I wouldn't
You
get
can't.
nothing
You
done.
can't.
Yeah,
That's right. And I was working too, but I have to
Right.
stop working. I mean,
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute, what did they just say? I was like, no, I got to put this down.
Yeah, in the afternoon, I settle in and I'm doing, work for the business, and I'll throw something on TV. And that's always my gauge is, can I can I keep working and just let it go in the
Same
background,
thing
look up
here.
every now and then, or do I have to watch it? I don't know. Like, I would just be like, close the laptop. Let me just watch this. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Kevin, it's not on Netflix. But Netflix is the White Lotus. Whatever.
Don't give me no more shows. I'm gonna hunt you down.
I got more, man. I got more. I got more.
Keep sending me these lists. We still haven't got through the other ones you gave me, but this
I'm
one
gonna
looks
let
really
you.
interesting.
I am gonna let you get through this one though, because
Yeah.
this one is one of those that after you get finished, you're like, I gotta watch that again.
Oh yeah.
So I am gonna watch it again. I promise you, I'll watch it again.
Anyways, can we talk about Tish James? Like,
Eh.
I hope we've been asking for the perp walk. I want her to be the first perp walk. You don't like that one?
She's not getting perp walk yet. That's just a little action. But Trump's new immigration with the self-deportation. That's something
I love
different.
that.
Because President Trump is shaking things up with a new idea for immigration. He's proposing a self-deportation program where immigrants here legally can get a stipend and a plane ticket to leave the United States voluntarily. Now, for those who are good, Trump says that he'll work to bring them back legally. This is a big shift from his usual hardline stance. Excuse me. Seems like Trump is trying to thread the needle here, focusing on getting rid of the criminals while offering a path to others. Jason, you say that you like it. Do you think this approach is too soft, or do you think it's a political move?
Oh, I think this is brilliant. I mean, the reality is, if you look in the Joe Biden years, we let in, let's say, 10 million people, just to throw a number around. Nobody really knows because people crossed illegally. So you go to those 10 million people and say, okay, you all need to go home and we'll help you get home. And once you're home, come in the right way. And then we can pick and choose the ones we want to let in the country. The other option is what he's doing now, which they're here, and he's getting pushback from all these courts about how to send them home. They have to have due process, all these sorts of things. So it's kind of like, I used an example from one of the rental houses we had. There was a guy there, we just wanted to go. He was a problem tenant. We just paid him like, hey, do you want to move out? Here's a check, just leave. Because for us, if we went to evict him, it would have taken months and cost all kinds of money, whatever. Here's a couple grand, get out of our hair. And that's what Trump's doing with these illegals. He's looking like, okay, do we want to have like 8 million cases going through the courts and the appeals, and this won't get resolved, and that's going to cost us X amount of money? Let's just offer to those guys to go home. Because once they're out, as long as we keep the border secure, they're not getting back in unless we want them in. I think it's brilliant.
It just seems different than, because many of MAGA was like, if you're here illegally, you get out. We want you to leave, or you need to be deported. They aren't talking about bringing them back, and Trump's earlier message was he was doing mass deportation, wasn't talking about bringing anybody back. He was like, a lot of these people are bad and stuff. So it just seems like some of the it seemed like this is just different. But one of the examples that I'm talking about is an interview that he did where he responded about a story about a Mexican man who had been in the United States illegally for about 20 years and has kids who are American citizens. And President Trump said that it seemed like that it was someone that was worth keeping, but he didn't talk about the details of what that would entail. But he said that this is a guy that we want to keep. That could spark some backlash within a lot of the MAGA people, because in a way, get mad at me for saying, but it almost seems like he could be. It sounds like he's walking back on his promises of getting rid of these people, and because these people are coming over here and they're just staying here because the dude is still illegal. I don't care whether he's good or not. He's still illegal. He came over here illegally, and that's something that many of us won't move off that mountain. If you came in this country illegally, you are a criminal because you did it illegally. You have to leave. Now, the Democrats have been talking about a pathway to citizenship. And I know President Trump has talked about a pathway to citizenship too. He did it in his first term. That kind of made us kind of, what? But, he hasn't. Now, that part he hasn't changed. If you want to add that guy to what he said in 2016, he hasn't gotten rid of that because he almost made the Dreamers legal. He had that on the table. A lot of people would have been against that, but he did have that on the table. But it seems like that would be going against his word a little bit, right? No?
Step one, got to get them all out of here. He's exploring every option to get them out of America. He declared them terrorists, send them home, send them to jails. He's trying everything. This is another strategy to get them out. Now, he hasn't even laid out what his plan is for them to come back.
Right.
But I think, speaking as a MAGA guy, if you have somebody who applies, who says, okay, I lived in the country, I had no criminal offenses, I paid my taxes, I did all the right things, I think we would look at that person and say, I wasn't on welfare, I wasn't doing any of that stuff. I think most Americans would say, okay, yeah, come on back. You know what I mean? You came in right, you did the right
thing. Most Americans would. I don't know about MAGA because I don't know I don't know who's in his ear right now. But he also mentioned helping industries like farming and hospitality to get the workers that they need.
Right.
What? I mean,
migrant farmers, there's a great program. And if they don't, and this is an important distinction we've talked about on the show, migrant farming, visas for migrant farmers is a very common thing. I mean, you have these areas where they do harvest, where they actually build like little mini towns that people come up from Mexico.
Yeah, I grew up with
live there. They go home. They do it every year. And if government's making it so that they can't get enough workers through that program, and you want to expand that program, we say harvest seasons, these 12 weeks, come live here, do this, then go home. I think everybody's okay with that, At least
I mean, I grew up with that. My father was my father worked with social workers, so we got to see the what do you call it? We got to see the migrants.
Yeah, the migrant farm workers.
Yeah, we got to see that. But
no issue with them.
But they weren't illegal.
No,
they were legal. They went through the process. These people that I don't think Trump is talking about them. Because that's a legit program. So, but he's talking about like he wants to see. He said he wants to see those people who are. He wants to see those that are here illegally leave and return legally, but he didn't explain how that would actually work. We're doing self-deportation. Quote: we're doing self-deportation. And we're going to make it comfortable for people.
Yeah, he just wants them out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. A lot of
the migrant farm,
we just want them out. Period. And
and the migrant farm worker, the underlying issue is the government jacks up that program. And if you have the program set up right and it works as designed, where people come in, they harvest crops, go home, like I don't think any American really has an issue with that. When they come here, want to stay, want to send money back, live here, welfare, and those sorts of things. Like, that's a no-go. So, Wayne looks deep in thought.
I just, I think Americans need to start picking up some of these jobs. That
Yes.
honestly.
Here's going to be the terrifying thing is we have raised the last generation or two who doesn't do stuff or build stuff. They do a lot of busy work. They work service industry or they manage in finance or that kind of thing. We don't have enough truck drivers, plumbers, people that can fix machinery, people that can manufacture things. We don't have enough of those kind of jobs. Those are the robust blue collar jobs that built America. We've made it where people think that's bad. And like none of you, like your kids, if they grow up to be like, hey, I want to be a plumber. Just today, I got a young kid who took over his dad's business running outdoor sprinklers. And he was out doing some work, replacing my sprinkler head. Young kid, entrepreneur. His dad made a good living doing and his friends, we were joking about it one time. He's like, yeah, I make more than they do. And they make fun of me, because I'm out here replacing sprinkler heads. Like, great kid. And like, those are the types of jobs we need in America. We don't need another person to go be a brain dead person working for a corporation that just steals their soul. Like, that's not what Americans about. And here's where it's going to be funny. Yeah, as Becky says, the generations are soft. My sons are in blue collar jobs. Absolutely. But here's what's going to be funny is as this younger generation that's entitled and kind of soft, what happens when they discover they're given like 12, 13% of their income to pay for our retirement? They're going to turn on the boomers so fast.
And for the most part, that's how it happens. We figure out when you're young and liberal, when you're old, you're conservative. You don't want nobody taking your money. Okay. That said, Thursday is right around the corner here on the Winnie Pre-Show. Our Friday, your Thursday. We're happy to have each and every one of you here on the show with us. We broadcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 12 to 1. We give you things to watch. Don't forget to check out Paradise on Hulu. Read a book. Join Jason's book club and read a book. And hey, Lisa, how you doing, Lisa? I'm tired. I got up early this morning.
And then you're going for the. Can we talk about the CPAP thing?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I got my CPAP machine. Love it. I've had it for like a month or two now. Oh. Thing's great, easy to use. New ones are great.
It's still huge.
No. It's a lot smaller.
And you put water in there?
Yeah, I put the water in there. Yep. Heated tube, so that you're breathing kind of like warm to air, but you will sleep better. And like for me, I don't snore, so Jen loves it. But yeah, I fought tooth and nail. I didn't want to do it again, and because my last machine sucked and was loud. And
mine too. Yeah.
So the one hack I found too is for your stupid tube. On Amazon, I bought it. It was probably made in China. They have a tube holder that you like snap on your bed, and it goes up and it's got a little arm on it, and then you put your hose on it. That way your hose isn't like pulling down with your blankets.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll send you the link to that if you get one. But no, I can't recommend it enough. If you're having that sleep stuff closing, you'll love it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to be talking to him this afternoon.
Look at you. You're going to be all healthy, Wayne. They'll get you eating right. They'll get you sleeping right. We'll get that new dog. You'll go for a little walk. Like this.
Jason, last thoughts.
So I'm just going to say I am enjoying the Democrat messaging right now because them going after the Maryland man that they want to bring home. And every story that comes out about this guy is just worse and worse. There's questions if he was a gang member, not. It was just revealed that his wife like filed a restraining order against him a few years ago, and it's just remarkable. But it just at a certain level, there is a certain amount of Americans that just say, why on earth are our politicians with all the problems in America worried about going to get this El Salvadorian back from El Salvador? And, there will be people that won't resonate with, but I think there's more Americans that it'll be like, can't we just fix America? Like, send the guy home. And, yeah, I'm excited to see it. So, and what do we talk tomorrow? Do we talk food? Do we talk? I don't know if I'll get to episode 4 tonight.
We'll see. I'll talk to you after I have this meeting.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
It'll be all good, Wayne. You'll like it.
Yeah. What's for dinner?
I don't know what we're gonna do tonight. We're meeting our friends out. Mike, the social media guy, he's got his nephew in town. So we're gonna meet up with them in a little town next to us and go play some Pokemon Go tonight. It'll be super fun. So
Okay. All right.
yeah, I know dessert will be 2 scoops ice cream, which is in Anoka, which is bad for us. But it's like dairy or creamery fresh ice cream. They use their milk from their farm to make it. So, oh yeah.
I can't remember last time I had ice cream, and I love ice cream. I just can't remember last time I had it.
Well, you shouldn't with your diabetes. I'll be skipping all my other carbs, and I'll be giving myself a little bump of insulin. Or a bigger bump of insulin. But we walk. So when we play, we walk around the town. So
There you go.
we'll try to burn off some of that sugar.
With that dog. All right. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.